Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Bit of a disclaimer as we normally do before the VF Talks. Something that has been near and dear to my heart over the last 6, 7 months, and that of multiple sclerosis. Um, and basically my work with the National MS Society. The National MS Society is a collective of passionate individuals who want to do something about MS now, to move towards a world free of multiple sclerosis. MS is a often unpredictable and unknowing sort of disorder, and it affects many of its patients in many different ways, basically consisting of disabling flare ups of the central nervous system. Such flare ups disrupt the flow of information within the brain and between the brain and the body. The National MS Society is the largest private funder of MS researchers in the world, investing more than $1 billion to date. MS stops people from moving, but the National MS Society exists to make sure that MS doesn't. To contact the National MS Society, please call 1 800 344 4867. Once again, 1 800 344 4867, or go to their website at nationalmssociety.org. Also of note, and something that was a very important cause back in the beginning of May, we are still raising money for the National MS Society through Adventure to a Cure's fundraising page at rebrand.ly/adventure to a cure. Once again, rebrand.ly/adventure to a cure. This effort will last through the end of September. Thank you for all of you who have donated money to this amazing organization. It touches me and over the 1 million people in this country that have multiple sclerosis in so many ways, and I appreciate all of you. And on that, it's time to talk. Hey Rex, what do you want out of this life? Not a question of what you don't want out of this life, but what do you want out of this life? I know we're supposed to talk about anything and everything tonight, but I really feel like we need to start asking that question around here. What do you want? Because you are a cantankerous triceratops. And I'll tell you that to your face. You're a triceratops, not a T-Rex. We'll see how he reacts to that, because this is the Venture Forward, VF Talks. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning once again, and welcome to the Venture Forward VF Talks. I am John Venturini, and I got a cantankerous triceratops, a stuffed cantankerous triceratops. This is not innuendo. He's right there. He's right there, and between you and I, he just gets more and more he gets more and more cantankerous. It's like nothing is making this guy happy. No matter, I got a nice little hat for him. He's got a nice little perch on top of a multi-purpose photocopier scanner thing. He should be he should be a king of the world right now. You'd think. No, not the case. Not the case at all. He just sits right there. I by the way, honor and pleasure to see all of you on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Matt is on assignment tonight. He will be back next Friday for VF Talks. But I have someone here who has got a thing or two about a thing or two, and that'd be Paul Burke.
Hey, hello. Matt's on assignment.
He's
a wink.
On assignment, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I think he's on assignment at Costco. That's just
getting samples.
Yeah, he's on sample patrol.
Yeah. His assignment is fixing his hunger, taking care of that.
Well, also, basically, he basically provides a review site for all the samples at Costco on a 1 to 5 scale, sort of like Consumer Reports, but a little bit different.
Is that a thing? Because that sounds like it's probably a thing out there in the world.
It is a thing, especially in areas that are blessed to have the Costco. Not the BJ's, mind you, because BJ's is like, BJ's is BJ's. But Costco,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Not everybody likes BJ's.
No, not really. I mean, BJ's does have a good value here and there. I'm a card-carrying member of BJ's. Why not? But ever since I became a card-carrying member of Costco as well, oh my God, my life has changed. I don't know why this has become an infomercial for wholesale clubs, but Here you go.
Since we're on wholesale clubs, have you ever dipped your toe into the Sam's Club waters?
That's trash.
That is. Oh, wow. Well, fighting words, sir, because I have a Sam's Club membership and not a Costco. So it's a very special episode where our friendship is severed. And, oh, boy, they're pretty much the same thing, aren't they?
Sam's Club is part of the wonderful Walmart family. And, you know, it's Sam's Club's okay. I went where I lived back in Connecticut. The only wholesale club that was like right down the street was Sam's Club. And it was fine. But did I go the extra distance to drive to BJ's? Yeah.
So you're saying, if I could make the jump, you're saying Sam's Club is, they are the Windows of PC units, whereas like Costco is Apple. You know what? You know what? I could kind of see that, because people who use like Apple products are kind of the same kind of cats who talk about Costco, and that same sort of like, yeah, we're willing to pay more money, so aren't we incredible sort of way? Like they really aren't we unique? And it's like, no, anybody can join your club. I just have to dump a lot of cash into Apple's pockets. It's like, it's not that elite.
Yeah,
anybody's welcome, as long it's a pay to play. You know what it is? Apple is the fraternity and sorority system, where it's like you gotta pay your way in.
So you're saying it's Greek?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Apple's Greek.
Yeah.
These are hot takes, everybody.
Hot takes. Part of
3 minutes
Cupertino Country Club.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. Right.
Windows is. I don't know what Windows is. Windows is the on-campus club where it's like, yeah, anybody can join. You're welcome to join. We're not gonna like kick you out. But Apple's is the Greek system.
I would think Sam's Club is more like MS-DOS.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, using a dir statement instead of, a graphical user interface and stuff.
Yeah.
That's just ages. That just basically dates me, doesn't it?
Well, I think that's okay. Why fight? Why fight dating yourself? You are who you are. You can't hide it.
No.
Sorry, world. You
Yeah.
have more information and more knowledge and more experience. That's all it
What
is.
of it?
You've lived a life, more experience.
I so there was basically a reason why that sort of mini micro skit took place as part of the pre-show this morning. I or
Mm-hmm.
this evening, basically from a
Mm-hmm.
conversation I had this morning. Get your words straight, that helps. Um I really
Words are hard. Don't judge yourself.
oh well, sentences and all that fun stuff. It's realizing what I need to do in this life, and I've I've spent way too much time honing in on the things I don't want, but I
Mm.
haven't spent any time on the things I actually do want. And you could use the excuse that, hey, you only know what you know and you learn from exploring and you go out there, this and the other thing. But like, I think within the last, we'll pull a number out there. The last 6 months, I've gotten a better sense of what I want out of this life. Obviously, I want to finish the book. I want to continue this. I want to do a lot of things. But
Yeah.
I think I was held back so long from the things I didn't want and honing in and just really dwelling upon those things.
Wow. Wow. That's deep,
It is deep.
man. Yeah.
I kind
No,
of warned you in advance, didn't I? I didn't really warn you.
you didn't, but I'm here for it. I'm intrigued. So, that documentary just came out on Anthony Bourdain's life,
Yeah, I didn't see it
and
yet, but I read about it.
I haven't seen it either. I'm excited to go check it out. Um, I think I'm going to definitely like pre-game in like a mental way because I'm like so when he committed suicide, that really rocked me, and I wasn't sure why. Because I mean, I've lived a life. I've heard about a lot of suicides and stuff like that, and a lot of people who kind of like, and it, for some reason, like it's just strange what hits you when it hits you,
Hmm.
and that one really bothered me. So I know going into the movie, I'm going to be like, ugh, but I think it's really interesting. And I was watching this conversation with him, which I think is probably in the film, where he was saying like, "Hey, the most important thing in life is not saying no to experiences and trying stuff." And I was like, hmm. It was just very interesting, which I think ties into what you were saying. So it
Hmm.
all goes full circle back to what you're talking about.
I think it's also a question of better management of the euphoria we get from situational sort of events, but then
Hmm.
also dealing with the low of, well, that event is over now and I feel like a little bit in the doldrums because I don't have that event anymore, and my adrenaline was pumping and I was feeling it on all different levels, and now it's gone.
Hmm.
I'm going to throw this term out there, but I think we're all mature people on this show. I think, on the most part, I don't think I have any underage viewers, but
Well, speak for yourself, sir. I'll probably giggle if it's
we
what's the word.
we refer to it as drop. And the thing, I kind of cleaned it up, right? There's usually a term that goes in front of the word drop, but usually after the euphoria of a high, you have a drop, and it can, if you don't have that handled, it can really take you back a little while. I know that from my own, and this is a personal, honest admission here. But when I have that sort of euphoric high, and then there's that doldrum period, and it could happen right away,
Hmm.
or it could happen like 12, 24, 36 hours down the road. You're experiencing drop, and it's like, oh, it's like, eh. And the thing I learned about that is you have to find middle things to kind of occupy your time, and maybe you take some time and read a book, or you do this or you do that, things that are not part of that euphoric high, and certainly not anything of the doldrums that you had once in your life or whatnot.
Hmm. That's interesting. You know what? It was funny. Like, I haven't read a book for a while, and I picked up a book and started reading it yesterday. And I had this weird sensation where I'm like, oh, yeah, I really enjoy this very much. It, it's such a, it's because I mean, it's like you read Google News and you're like reading people's Facebook posts, and you're like, maybe you're on the New Yorker because I want to sound classy.com, and
Works for
you're
me.
like, you're reading a little bit of the article, and then you're like checking out, And it's like, but you don't have that whole like book experience. You don't have that whole like you're working towards something bigger. And so I guess what was interesting yesterday is I just started reading, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to fill some time in my day just reading. It wasn't like a peak moment. I wasn't looking for a peak, but I was filling time. But it strangely became a peak moment because I'm like, well, this is, I remember this. Like, this is really great. And um, so I think to tie into what you're saying, like sometimes even when you're just filling space with activity, you might discover that activity is actually really, really rewarding. You know, you can't plan it, but it happens that way sometimes.
Yeah, and that's a very good point. I think when we think about things that we normally don't get that sort of reaction from, and then when they provide the reaction, you start kind of putting everything back into, introspection, saying, "Hey, I really do have a liking for reading, or reading the New Yorker, or doing the New York Times crossword puzzle, especially the Sunday ones because it's the toughest." That sort of thing.
Hmm. Have you ever done a Sunday? Boy, I am not good at crossword puzzles. They are, people really love them. And like, I think like Jon Stewart, like he's famously like just can crank out Sundays, I don't know, my brain's not wired that way.
Yeah, my it
Have you tried?
depends on my mood, right? And like
Mm.
the Sunday crossword is brutal. Absolutely honest to God brutal. If you want to do a New York Times crossword puzzle, you probably should start off with a Monday. Start Monday.
Yeah, baby
Monday
step it.
Monday's easy. And then it
Ease
gets
yourself into that Sunday.
progressively worse.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems rough. Yeah, it is all about mindset, like how you see yourself. Because I think if I started off with Sunday, I would very quickly, probably after the first one, be like, well, I'm a failure. So it is all about mindset, where it's like, oh, I'm just going to experience this thing, and I'm not going to put a value judgment on myself about it. This is a very deep Friday sit down.
This is what happens when Matt goes on assignment.
I love that we make it sound so mysterious. Um, I don't think he would mind to say, like, he cracked his iPhone, right? Like that's what it was.
Yeah, the assignment had to do with phone reliability and phone durability, and he
Hmm.
basically took a Ford Bronco, uh, tried to run over a phone, and then took like a Kia, tried to run over the phone. Uh, did some really great video on this. It'll be on one of his 900 channels at some point. Um, Nevertheless,
He does love his channels.
I'm a real bastard, aren't I?
No, he does. He's got a lot of channels. The man
He's
loves
got at least
loves some
1,100
channels.
channels.
Yeah,
At least 1,100 though.
yeah. So
One related, so all things Dryerland is fantastic. Not sure if you've seen it yet, but it's good stuff.
and the channel we were talking about earlier was his channel called Bronco Buster, where he
Bron-
just what can he run over with his Bronco? And he tries things, and he learned yesterday not a phone,
Not a phone.
not durable.
That got
Hmm.
moved to the other list. Not a phone. Phone is
Hmm.
now. It's like MythBusters, but more cable access.
And he wears one of those little hats like on MythBusters.
Yeah, he wears a hat he got from the dollar store,
Hmm.
and access programming. You get rent the studio time. It's just really well done.
He shaves his head just like the guy in MythBusters. Like he does, it's MythBuster cosplay, but he calls it Bronco Busters. So all the myths revolve around the Ford Bronco.
It was MythBusters cosplay, and he was actually doing a Cosby impression before Cosby became the biggest predator in the face of the planet, and then they trimmed it back a bit.
Yeah, hard pivot. Decided.
Hard
Wait a
pivot. This
second.
is no good.
This
This is no
guy's
bueno.
this person's a monster. Let's lean into this MythBuster. Not monster territory.
But no cause, no cause.
Yeah.
And
So
in fact, they got rid of the sponsorship to Jello pudding as well. That was important.
did you? did you hear that, like, and this is purely like, I'm sure, I can't imagine anybody who would give him stage time, and just what a train wreck of an experience that would be. Um, that when Cosby got out, he's in talks with doing like a tour, like doing maybe not even necessarily a whole tour, but just trying to find stage time to do material. And it's like, what
What
just
club owner's going to sign up for that?
just okay, fine, you're out. Okay, just go away, recede. Just you're a monster. You were able to work the system. Just go away. Like, I mean, could you imagine? Could you imagine a venue being like, yeah, we'll put Cosby up, and just the I don't know. I don't know. That what a weird.
It's
I bet there's somebody though. I bet there's somebody gonna do it because they're gonna be like, what great publicity that because they're every media outlet's gonna mention the name of that venue and stuff. And
bad
but I
press
just
is good
can't imagine.
press.
Yeah, any press is good press sort of mindset. Like that's not my mindset, but that's gonna be somebody's out there because there's a lot of people and somebody's got that wiring.
Well, I knew you
So
were trying to sign Sirhan for a long time, and it just didn't work. No,
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know that
just
one.
basically a terrorist.
Oh, got it. Okay. Who did he do stand up as well?
Yeah, he had a great five. He had a great 5 minute killer set. It was fantastic. You should catch it.
Yeah.
Literally,
I
a
gotta
killer
look
set.
up.
Literally,
I
a
am
killer
so
set.
ignorant. I gotta go look up
Sirhan.
What was it? Sirhan.
Sirhan.
Yeah,
Right.
got it. I don't
His
know.
5 minute killer
I've heard.
set. Right.
I feel like okay. I'll go do some research. I got research. I got work to do after this.
Yeah. In the
this,
meantime, I was
live
also
stream.
being pinged by another regular viewer. So, like, uh, oh,
Oh, who is?
someone's currently working, so she couldn't pop on with a special cameo appearance. It's okay.
Oh,
We love you
gotcha.
nonetheless. We love you nonetheless.
Oh, is it Sarah?
No, it would be Miss Fabro.
Oh, gotcha. She's
Yeah,
a busy woman.
she's a
She's
busy
got a
woman.
lot going on.
But if anyone else wants to join us down that direction, I'll figure out how to point someday. Down, yeah, got it. Down there. There's the link. Join us.
What is Okay, this is hilarious.
Did you get porn? Did you end up with porn? Because that'd be
No,
great.
I didn't. So later I gotta go I gotta go to Total Wines and More to make a pickup. And I just got notified. My girlfriend, Kira, just ordered. I just saw the order summary and I'm like, this is a lot of wine. How are we gonna drink all this wine? I'm just literally scrolling and I'm like, there's just more and more wine bottles. Why are there so many wine bottles? This is a lot of wine.
That's a
It's a lot of
$6,000 order.
I'm not wine shaming you. I'm just saying there's a lot of wine here.
Yes.
You got a whole 12-pack of White Claw and you got like 8 bottles of wine?
Okay,
What are we doing? Is this a weekend?
the door's open for scribbles, not for me.
All right.
Kara, join us and comment real quick because I feel like we need equal time here. I feel
Kira, do you want to come in?
Yeah, Paul's
John's
been
curious.
basically
John wants
Paul-
your. You can just
yeah.
come in as your voice.
FCC's telling me
Well,
for equal time.
You can stand. If you stand right here, you will be off camera. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What's up?
Okay. So this is 8 bottles of wine. What's going on?
I'm meeting a girlfriend.
Okay, you gotta be louder.
I'm meeting a girlfriend,
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
and she wanted some White Claws,
Uh huh.
and I.
Well, White Claws aren't 8 bottles of wine.
That's right.
So why am I 8 bottles of wine?
Is it really 8?
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I lie. It's 6. I'm sorry. I can't
Okay.
count.
Don't be ashamed. It's okay.
There's a
Remedial
lot of cab
arithmetic.
on this thing.
I love cab.
My lady loves her some cab.
I had to justify using a coupon, so I had to hit a threshold.
Oh, now we're talking.
Oh,
I
there
get
you
it.
go.
$10 off, baby. $10 off.
Here we are ready for a hardball sort of confrontation
So
here.
technically
She's become
2
the
months
super
or
saver of the
something.
day.
Yeah, you're the saver of the day. You're the super saver of the day. John wants you to know.
Thank you, John. I'm glad someone appreciates my
I appreciate your
frugal
shopping
behavior.
prowess.
I just okay. Thanks. I got the order. I just had to share. So, all right. See you later.
Can't wait for you
Take
to
care,
tell me
Kira.
about the supply order.
John says, "Take care."
Thank you, John.
So that's happening around my house. Just a hell of a lot of wine drinking tonight.
Party over here. Yeah. Right.
That's funny. Anyways, I'm sorry. I got
No, that was
Just-
perfect. That was
Okay.
absolutely perfect.
just funny little moment.
We have them on this show, don't we?
They do. It happens. What do you got going on this weekend?
I'm going to see, after someone's done with his special assignment tonight, I'm going to see a baseball game with him tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Like it's AA or AAA, right? Or
And it's AA, Harrisburg.
cool.
Yeah.
Very awesome.
Yeah. They're the farm club for the Washington Senators.
Do a lot of people from AA ever make it to the majors? Is that
Yeah.
a thing?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
it
happens.
does happen. Okay. I mean, it must happen. It must happen, or why even have the system? I guess.
I think when you draft a college player and you put them through the farm system, because you're not going to put them right into the major leagues, you'll take them through spring training, assess what they can do on the major league level based on their performance in spring training. Then you figure out, okay, that person's great for single A, double A, triple A, what have you. Yeah, the farm system is still a very relevant thing. Now, in the modern day MLB 2021 version, there's people in the commissioner's office in New York that's trying to make it more about the major leaguers and trying to make it more about, trying to basically assuage the farm system, and they forget how important minor league baseball is to the grassroots of the game and the grassroots of America. You cannot take away minor league ball.
Got it, because it keeps people interested and engaged. Yeah, I mean Sacramento, where we live, or right next to Sacramento, there's a really popular AAA baseball team that used to be a feeder to the A's, but actually now is weirdly a feeder to the Giants.
So they changed
Yeah,
affiliation.
yeah, they switched. Yeah, kind of weird. I don't quite understand how that works, but hugely popular. Like everybody goes to that. So.
Speaking of the A's, do we know if they're going to be in Oakland for much longer, or are they going to move?
Boy, that's a great question. I don't know. Isn't it funny? So I don't think the Golden State Warriors are in Oakland anymore.
No,
They're
not.
out.
They're out.
The 49ers are no longer. Hey guys, welcome to Sports Talk.
Yeah, welcome. There's the link. Call us.
The 49ers are way down in San Jose now, which doesn't as the crow flies, does not look like a far distance, but the traffic is insane over there. I never go into San Francisco anymore because the traffic to get in there is such a mess. And it's not just me sounding like an old man. Like, it is nuts.
There's no metering light that's going to save you from the Bay Bridge or the Golden Gate Bridge or whatnot.
Oh,
with the traffic
forget
buildup.
about it.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Oh, forget about it. And I mean, yeah, it's a beautiful bridge, but there's only so much you can look at it before you're like, when will this traffic move? Yeah.
I'm going to work from home in Daly City and hope for the best.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Where are they thinking about going? Like, I don't know where the A's were
so
thinking.
many different places.
Really?
I've heard Vegas. I've heard Portland. I've heard, what's another one that keeps on coming out? Nothing Canadian, from what I hear. But
Okay.
Vegas, Portland, and there's one other on the west that I forget where though. Yeah, there.
See, I don't think. Interesting. God, could you imagine Vegas? They would have to do an all-indoor stadium. I mean, that's just. I mean, that must be that's similar to like Arizona Diamondbacks. Like, it's just that heat is insufferable in the summer. Like, you just go inside and never come out and say, "Well, I'll see you in October."
The
Um,
retractable dome plays a very heavy role in Arizona, and I think if there was a stadium in Vegas, there would be a retractable dome with the best darn HVAC system you could possibly think of. Even though it is a dry heat, it's 115 degrees out there, right? So
yeah,
they certainly
you
wouldn't
know,
want to do what they do in Tampa Bay, though. Tampa Bay is an eyesore.
yeah, interesting. I know Las Vegas has I think it's the 51s. They have a
Mm-hmm.
AAA baseball team down there.
Yep.
Um, and so the reason I know all this is I used to actually sell water at the AAA baseball stadium, the local River Cats. So I got to know the teams really well, but I didn't sell inside the stadium. I sold outside as my own
Oh,
little
you're
business and
one of those. Got it.
just pedaled water.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not bad, not bad. It was pretty fun. Actually, that actually helped me become a very good public speaker because as you're shouting to people, you have to like really try to get their attention and make a lot of eye contact. So like you got really good. Like if you ever want to get good at like engaging somebody quickly as like hundreds of people are walking at you, oh baby, like street stuff, man, you learn. Street stuff sounds bad.
No, it
If you
sounds
want to
perfectly
engage,
legit. Perfectly legit.
I was doing stuff on the streets, getting people's attention. You
Were
know
you
how
a
it
street
is. And I
walker?
became a good, yeah, I did a little bit of walking, just from one end of my corner to the other, just back and forth, seeing if people wanted some water.
Good management
I
system.
would,
You had a good manager, good pimp. I'm sorry, good manager.
I was my own manager. I had
Oh,
my own
good.
manager.
That's really
I'd
good.
shout things like, "Hey, are you looking for a good time inside the stadium? Be sure to stop in and get some water here.
Are you
Uh,
thirsty? Are you
are
thirsty?
you thirsty? Yeah. Are you thirsty? Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, so, anyways, total side note,
Sure.
did some research. 10% of the players from the minors make the majors. So
Yeah.
that's much higher than I thought.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And
Interesting.
certainly it's a place when you're on, when you come back from the injured list and you're trying to rehab to get ready to come back into, major league form, you may do a stint in Double A and Triple A to get back to game playing shape before you make it back to the big league roster.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, isn't that like a sales point of AAA baseball? It's like when somebody is injured and like got pushed down to AAA or Double A, and they're like going through the system. Like that night was like insanely popular because they're like, this huge player's here. Oh my god! Everybody loses their mind. Yeah.
And there's apparently 6 bottles of wine that comes with. No,
Anyway.
what's your big
So,
plans for the weekend outside of
well,
that
I'll tell you
order?
what my plan is after this show. I have my first in-person therapy appointment in over a year and a half.
Oh
So looking
my!
forward to that. Yeah. We've been doing some phones. We've been doing some stuff over the phone, but not the same. So actually going in person, pretty excited about that. So I was like, I had this weird thought. I'm like, you know what? I should get him something to celebrate that we're back in person therapy sessions.
Flowers?
So I didn't. I did. I did. I think if he appreciated flowers, I'd get him flowers. I do think he is a man who loves his coffee. So I went and found some West Coast roasters who, so I ordered him some coffee. So I'm gonna bring my therapist some coffee beans tonight and say, hey, here you go. Let's figure this out now because it's a mess. So we'll talk for an hour over some Kenyan beans.
Kenyan beans and
Mm-hmm.
how things change now that we're back face to face again
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
after 9 years of. No, I'm just kidding.
I would say this: if anybody's thinking about going to get therapy, find somebody who's on the top floor of at least, I would say, like 3 stories or higher, because there's something very nice. I think this should, across the board, hot tip if you're a therapist, get a building with windows on the 3rd floor or higher, because there is something very liberating as a client just talking about yourself as you're like overlooking the world from a higher view. Does that make sense?
It actually does make sense.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know if
I
he
never
planned it
had
like
that,
that.
but I think about being on the 6th floor of a building and talking to my therapist. It's like, boy, that, and with windows that overlook the street or whatever. Yeah, that's amazing.
I never really thought about it until it just came out of my mouth right now. But that's that's usually how the things happen. I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good way to go, brain. You put together something worth listening to. Um,
Always.
yeah, I would say like I don't know if he planned it that way, but there is something very liberating, just kind of like looking out and opening up.
Yeah, I think as far as finding the right therapist, that's always a big question. And having gone through a series of them myself over many, many years, you
Mhm.
know, going through that sort of finding the right therapist, I'm a big fan of using something like psychologytoday.com and then finding 2 or 3 of them, having one session with each and figuring out which one I meld better with, and then
Yeah,
having sessions with them ongoing. But like it's when you switch therapists or you're looking for one, it's a bit of an emotionally taxing sort of situation because one, you need that outlet to talk about what's going on upstairs and coming up with a
hmm,
game plan and all that. But like, moreover, you're hoping that they, as a LCW or whatever they are, understand you and
hmm,
then know how to be basically therapeutic and basically help you along that, given your mores and whatnot.
yeah, 100%.
See,
Yeah,
we
it's
have
an
this
interesting.
conversation, and you notice Ashley's nowhere near this conversation. It's very, very interesting.
Well, I'm sure like she deals with people too, where they come in and they might think like, oh, we're a good fit, and I wonder, or I think I might have asked her this if she's told people like, I don't think we're a good fit, because that must be, because in a weird way, it's almost like dating, where it's like rarely ever do both of you feel like this is probably not good. One of you has to be like the one who's like, this isn't working for me, and I think therapists are trained to be like, that's fine, but what a challenging situation to like let down a client potentially and be like, I think there's something better out there for you. It's not me.
There's so many rules tied to the LCW certification and all
Mm,
those sort of accreditations and basically things that you need to hold within the state you're practicing in, that talks about conflict of interest, that talks about basically boundary setting and keeping things in the professional setting and nothing anything more outside of that. And
got it.
it is so darn easy to try to overtake that line, whether you realize it or not. It
Yeah.
happens more times than you think.
Mm,
And, you can't, on the first or second sort of situation, you can't really blame them because it is fuzzy. You can't see it, but
mm,
then it kind of crosses. But then when it happens repeatedly, then it's a conscious decision based on the therapist and the therapist's office, the basically the practice that the therapist is working out of, to say, you know what, this person may not be a good suitable patient for you. And the one thing I'll say about any well run practice is they do have client reviews or case reviews on a regular basis to kind of peer review each other's clients and interesting situations and whatnot, so they could provide the best care to the people that are utilizing them for therapeutic services for that sort of social work and mental sort of therapy, I guess.
yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I got an appointment today, and probably go see the Anthony Bourdain movie.
So is that in
And
the theaters or that's on what service can I find it on if it's not in the theaters?
I don't know if it's on HBO Max. I know it's in the theaters. I love going to movies, so I have that like like Regal Unlimited card where it's like,
Mm.
go as much as you want. We need butts and seats.
$30 a
Um,
month, isn't it? Something like that.
Boy, mine is like only like $20 or like
Oh,
18
yeah,
or
it might be
something.
overpricing. It's 20. Yeah, I remember. So there's a Regal buy here,
Yeah.
and I was thinking about doing that, and it's like, well, how often do I go to movies? But surprisingly, I'm going to a lot more movies now than I did before the Backstreet Boys reunion tour.
It's it's nice. Like I love going and the lights going off and just like forgetting everything. Like it's very zen for me. Going to the movies is like very zen, especially in the theaters, because you can't you can't really access your phone. You can't really access anything. Everything's just like shut off for a couple hours. So I'm like $18 a month to get 2 hours of meditation whenever I want. All right, that sounds good to me.
And to see
Um,
a movie as many times as you like, and to see all the movies that are currently out, that's huge.
and that's kind of the thing. I'm looking at the list of movies and I'm like, nothing's like really exciting to me, but I'm like, it's free, and it looks entertaining enough.
If I had
Um,
to pay $15 for it, I'm not seeing it. But if it because it's part of my membership,
I know,
I'm willing to endure 2.5 hours of complete crap.
I know. And then also, it's like I'm spending time doing this thing when I could do other things. So I 100% get that. Um, but you sometimes you find some gems where you're like, I don't think I'd
The
like that.
proverbial diamond in the rough, so to speak.
So speaking of Diamond in the Rough, have you seen? It's a movie that's a few years old. I don't know if
Mhm.
I've mentioned it to you before. Kat actually mentioned it to me, and fair warning, CK hated it, and I loved it. Um,
Oh, split decision.
it was a split decision. Ty goes to love though because Kat loves it too. It's called Palm Springs.
I have not seen Palm Springs.
It's Andy Sandberg, and it is a really unique movie. And it's one of those movies like the less you know going in, like don't IMDb it or anything. The less you know going in, the more I think you'll enjoy it. Um, and I think you're a cat, no pun intended. I think you're a cat who would enjoy it. So, uh, yeah, I'd be curious. Check it out. Check it out.
I will take that as a
It's
homework assignment, Daddy-O, and I'll see if I could see Palm Springs sometime in the next week, and we could talk about it on the next episode.
it's on Hulu. So
Hulu? Okay.
I think Hulu bought the rights to distribute, so it's on there, and I think it's like 90 minutes, so it's not like a huge time investment. Because God, why are movies like why is the new goal for film to be like 2.5 hours? Like, stop it. There is something so beautiful about 90 minutes, getting it done, get on with your day.
So I'll ask you this. Black
Yeah,
Widow, do you think that was too long?
I thought it was not great. I thought, yeah. Did you watch it?
Yeah. I
Did you
didn't
like
like
it?
I gave it a B minus, maybe a C plus.
Yeah, I'd be right there too because there were some moments where I really liked. Here's the thing, like, okay, I had a lot of problems with the director choices. Like
Mm,
some of the fight sequences, I'm like, why are you shooting it this way? It does not seem important. The way you're shooting it, you're not like working up towards like the tension wasn't building, and I was like, is that your goal? Is your goal to like deconstruct a battle where it's like normally you would work towards tension and work towards anxiety, but is your goal to show us that combat sometimes it just happens without a buildup? And I'm like, is that your point? But then later I'd be like, I don't think that's your point because your other choices don't seem to have quite the eloquence that would suggest a deeper plan. Does that
right,
make sense?
ready for more shade?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
shade away, my
You only
friends,
had
because I was
7,000 people do the movie. Have you seen how ridiculously long that credits was? They had like 19 freaking names on a line, and it goes down for like 10 minutes.
and maybe that's the problem. It maybe it wasn't, and that's not the problem, but sometimes with those big studios, you're like, who do I blame for this thing? Because there's so many layers of like decisions. You got Kevin Feige, you
Mm-hmm.
got the director, you got the writer. I will say, the actor and actress that stood out was for me, not even Scarlett Johansson. I'm sorry, like she's never really done it for me as an actress. Like I just never feel like a certain level of like, yeah, I
And
buy it.
does she do comedic scenes as well? Because you know the way the Marvel's going, there has to be a little hint of comedy and the laugh and then yuck yuck. She can't pull that off. Not well.
No, and that's the, oh boy, okay, that's the thing that kind of like frustrated me too, because I'm like, if I were the director or the writer, I think I would quickly understand that I don't think Scarlett Johansson's skill set is comedy and hitting those lines and timing. Like that
Mm-mm.
is not her wheelhouse. Who was her co-star? I can't. Is it Pugh? What's how do you say her last name?
I
Uh,
I know what you're talking about. It's not coming to me either.
it's Pugh. I don't know if it's Pooh or Few, or I don't know how you pronounce it, but like she is so good. Like everything I've seen her in, she is amazing, and she understands timing, and she knows how to be a badass. And I'm like, can somebody please retcon you as the new Black Widow, or make her the new Phase 4, Phase 5 Black Widow, which I think is what they were hinting at,
Mm-hmm.
because she is so good. Like she was good in Little Women. She was good with Fighting with the Family. She was so good in Little Women. Somebody told me like, "Hey, do you know that's the same woman in Fighting with the Family?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Those are
Didn't even know.
so different."
Didn't even know.
Didn't even know. She's so good. Um
But
so
you're right about her
sometimes,
timing because also with the cultural context of what that character is, where there is
yeah.
a very distinct and acute sort of timing operative with that, she nailed it. She absolutely nailed it.
That's that scene where she's talking about the jacket and the pockets in the car.
Oh my god.
Gold. That scene, like I'm like, how was this movie not more of just those scenes? Because that scene was brilliant. The scene where they were talking about what I imagined my family was going to be like and how I imagined Scarlett Johansson's family, and that scene was gold. And like when they just put down the fighting, and like I felt like they were always just on this roadmap to war. And I'm like, when they stopped going on that roadmap and just like sat back with these characters, I'm like, I'm in heaven. This is so
That
much
breaking
fun.
of the fourth wall, so to speak, it's not really a full breaking of the fourth wall, but that sort of thing that took place where they course corrected and had a detente of, if you will, was great.
Hmm.
It was money. It was definitely money.
It was, and then I forget, is it David Harbour, the guy who played Red?
Yeah.
Um, oh my God. He is so great. I loved him so much. And then Rachel Weisz. Listen, man, you got me on a soapbox now. I love Rachel Weisz. I think she's funny. I think she's amazingly talented. Um, the work she does is so good. I feel like she never hit the heights that she deserved, because she has been
Mm.
so good since I saw her back. I think it was in the 90s. I saw her in there was it was about the, I think, the Nazi invasion into um St. Petersburg. I don't know, into Russia. I can't remember what it was called,
Mm.
but she was in that, and I was like, she is so good. Anyways, I thought she was great. And also, can we be real? You're saying her and David Harbour, their genetic code kicks out a Scarlett Johansson and Pew. Like that is the best genetic code ever. Somebody bottle that, because man, I hey Marilyn, hello.
Marilyn. Marilyn says, "Hi guys, just got off work. Sorry I had to miss it, but I'll watch it on the rerun. You both are amazing. Thanks, Marilyn.
Oh,
You're
thanks,
amazing.
Marilyn. You're amazing. Facts.
Facts, absolutely facts.
Um
I know the time change and I think that threw everybody for a loop, but that's okay because everybody could catch us on replay and talk about
Yeah.
their thoughts about Sam's Club and also the drop and
Well, and just so everybody knows, like JV was nice enough because I have to jump at 2:30, so to move it earlier. So thank you. I appreciate the change.
anytime. See, the other thing, this kind of came up last week when I was having technical difficulties and I did a whole take two of the main show. It's like I'm
Yeah.
thinking the times are going to change come September anyway. So, like,
Got it.
I'm thinking 7:30 might be a better time slot for Venture Tuesday, Thursday, or
cool.
Monday, Wednesday, or whenever I move it to, and then VF Talks will probably be a different time slot as well. Might be a different day for
Nice.
all I know.
Yeah, mix it up. I mean, for my live stream right now, I'm trying different times. I'm trying like a 5:30 ish, or 8:30 Eastern.
8:30 Eastern,
Or-
5:30
yeah.
works for me. I like that time slot a lot.
Okay, cool. Because I was kind of thinking like that might work because it's not too late for East Coast, but it's late enough for West Coast where they're after work. So we'll see. I'm still
You
playing.
could probably even do 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific if you wanted to as well. I'd be okay with that.
Interesting. You know what I need to go. What I want to do is stick with 5:30 for a while, and go back and kind of look at where people watch and when they drop off, and kind of use the actual metrics to kind of. But I think you might be onto something. That 6-9 thing might work pretty well.
Yeah.
So yeah. So Scarlet, or not Scarlet Widow, Black Widow.
Scarlet Widow. That's the sequel.
Like, I really, really wanted to love it, and there were moments that I really loved, but overall, I was like, the fight sequences are silly. Like, the tension was just not there. I don't know.
B
I don't
minus
know.
C plus. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's a grade I give it.
Good call.
Of the
I put it
three
right
or
there
four
too.
movies I've seen since the Backstreet Boys reunion ended, I think it was the lowest of the grades. I think Quiet Place 2 was really good. I would
So
say,
good.
yeah, it was very good. I would say Cruella was amazing. I'll give it.
I haven't seen.
Oh
Oh.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe I'll use my little Regal card and go see that.
yeah. It's not It has the chance to drive it over a line. It doesn't, and it is
Okay.
absolutely a fun movie. That's the best word I could use. It's a lot of fun.
I love Emma Stone. She is
Hmm.
so good. Like, talk about somebody who can like do everything. Like, she is just so talented.
The two
Um,
Emmas really nailed it. It was really good.
Yeah, that's right. The other Emma, she's great too.
Marilyn says, Paul, I catch your show usually in the bush, but it's so entertaining.
Thanks, Marilyn. Thank you.
Let's just let that marinate for a second or two.
Usually, well,
Okay. Okay, great.
so I'm guessing bush means the wilderness, like just kind of like going through your day.
Yeah, the Australian outback. I have no idea.
Yeah. Are you hunting, Marilyn? Are you hunting things? What are you shooting things while you're watching me?
And can you put down
that's
video
intense.
and then we could bring you in and it'd be fantastic. It's like, well, here's what we're going to talk about. But first, here's Marilyn out in the Australian outback.
Are you like in a little kangaroo blind, like they have duck blinds over here? Like, are you like in a little kangaroo blind, just watching me on a phone as you're just waiting for a kangaroo to come by? I don't know. I don't. That's insensitive. I'm sure there's other things. I know there's other things
Sure.
down there. Yeah,
She could be a landscaper.
you could be a koala bear assassin.
There you go. She could
Not-
be a landscaper for koala bears. See, then I could bring the two back.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. That's true.
Good stuff.
You could be working with blind kangaroos.
Marilyn clarifies it. It says, "No, I'm sitting by the fire."
Oh. Well, thank you, Marilyn, for letting us just kind of run wild there and just kind of theorize what Marilyn in the bush means. So Marilyn in the bush means sitting by the fire now. Now we know that.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
The more you know. The more you know. Hello.
Speaking of fire, do you mind if I take this? And speaking of fire, did you know that like herpes is rampant in koala bears?
I did not know that. Why do you think that is?
Because they just are always banging. That's what I read. Like they are just horny little dudes who are just having sex with everybody, and just like herpes, unfortunately and horribly, has like, or maybe
Or is it
it's
chlamydia?
I think it's all, it might be that it's all STDs or
Okay.
STIs. It's just decimating the population. Let me look that up. I don't know which one it is, and I don't want to be talking out of turn about my koala
No,
bear
no,
knowledge.
we got to respect the koalas, and we want to be factually correct here on koala sex talk.
Here you go. The first thing that came up: koala bear sexually transmitted disease. Now we're talking. Oh, you're right. Koalas in the wild are exposed to chlamydia through sexual contact.
Yes. 10
Got it.
points.
That's what it is.
10
Yeah.
points, and I get to
Okay.
pick again.
Up to 90% of the koala population is infected. That's sad.
So,
Anyways.
by the way, and I don't want anyone clipping that out of context, I was celebrating my correct answer. I'm not celebrating the fact that koalas have a problem with chlamydia. I love and peace to the koalas. We're thinking about you. Hope you're finding the right sort of creams or clears or whatnot to make
Yeah,
your
don't
koala.
cancel.
Yeah,
Don't cancel JV.
no,
Uh,
don't cancel JV or the koala that has chlamydia.
Wait, Marilyn, you have a campfire? Like, so you have like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You have like a campground, like just kind of an open fire in the backyard sort of thing. I need to get one of those. That seems nice.
Campfire. Why?
Welp,
What's up with koalas? Why? If you were a koala, I mean,
yeah.
would that be the first thing you'd be thinking about, or would you be thinking about, I don't know, like what else do what are other things that koalas do?
I don't think they do very much. I think they just kind of like eat. They're pretty slow moving creatures. Um, I think they just kind of eat and hang out. I don't even know if they have a lot. They must have predators. I don't know what they are, but I think it's just kind of like an unfortunate thing where it's probably like introduced to the population, and now it's just like not great,
No,
not great.
that's not great at all.
Um,
Speaking of koalas, that's nothing to do with koalas. I was trying to do a segue and it has nothing to do with it, so I just figured. Great job on LSP before.
oh, thanks, man. It
That
was
was
a lot of
awesome.
fun. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was helpful for people.
It was very helpful. Maryland has a fire pit in the backyard.
Oh, now we're talking.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
I like the sort of play off of each other between you and Loria. I thought it was really good.
Awesome. That's,
Yeah.
you know what, I always try to kind of like,
Kathleen was awesome, also awesome as well. I think Kathleen was great.
oh, it was all really good. Like, yeah, my goal is always to kind of try to find the flow state of um the host, and kind of be their boy, the name is totally escaping me. The one with Conan O'Brien, the guy, I want to say
Second
Andy
banana.
Samberg. Yeah, who is the guy who was always doing shows with Andy, or Conan O'Brien was
Andy Richter?
Andy Richter.
Yeah.
I always try to kind of be the Richter to the host, because I'm like, there's a certain, like, you can kind of feel when it's clicking and when it's not, and if it's not, just kind of adjust and tweak it, and you eventually kind of get there. So
If you are Andy Richter, are you controlling the universe
for one season,
for one season?
yeah, and then I get canceled.
You know why I love that show?
I heard it was great. I never watched it, but
The reason why I love that show is because of one woman,
who was in it?
Paget Brewster.
Oh, okay. I should go back and watch that show.
Same Paget Brewster that was on Criminal Minds, the same Paget Brewster that was on Huff. Paget Brewster, one of my favorite actresses. She was on Andy Richter Controls the Universe.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Sir, speaking of controlling the universe, not at all, but that doesn't work either. That transition didn't work. But I should mosey because I got a 3:00 appointment. So
Well, I hope you have a great reunion
Thanks, man.
that is
Me too.
instilled
Looking
with the
forward.
most wonderful coffee enjoyment and whatnot. Um, and I hope the Total Wines and Spirits purchase of later on is going to be nothing but fantastic and marvelous and, well, everything fantastic and marvelous, not just all of that. So nothing
It's gonna
but,
be.
well, it should be marvelous and fantastic, actually.
It's gonna be a good night. I hope you have a great night, Marilyn. Hope you have an amazing night. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
hanging out.
Thank you, Paul. I'll let you. So, homework assignment for me before you go. I know I'm
Hmm.
going to try to see the Bourdain movie. I got to figure out where it's playing around here, and then I
Me
got to
too.
see. Was it Palm Springs? You said Palm Springs is that?
Yes. Yeah. Palm Springs. And is there anything you'd like me to watch or do in terms of homework?
I don't know of anything right now, but I'm sure my mind will start cranking at it sometime before the end of the weekend, and I'll just shoot you a message about it.
Cool, cool, cool. Sounds good.
Paul, as always, you're amazing. You have a great
Likewise,
weekend.
sir.
I'll be talking to you over the weekend, but you have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, cool. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Paul Burke, ladies and gentlemen, always fun to have on his show. The thing is, we do talk about anything and everything on this show. We can go from a very serious topic like, understanding what we want out of life, the things we want versus the things we don't, and then start basically lambasting wholesale clubs. And it's like, it's an honor to be doing this show and to have this sort of free form conversation, but also to be doing it with such amazing people like Paul and like Matt and like Ashley and like everybody else who does this show. I'm thankful for all of you, and it makes Fridays the best day of the week for sure. Marilyn says, by the way, see you guys soon. Marilyn, we'll see you soon. Thank you for hopping on tonight on this early edition of VF Talks. So let's basically preview and talk about the next Venture Forward real quick. Tuesday, we'll be doing Venture Forward at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, but we will be having our third Ask Me Anything, where I will answer all your questions about all the different things we talked about in the last 2 seasons of Venture. And what I'm going to do now is, if I could find the graphic, is basically put up my, here, I think this is it right here. There. No, that's the wrong one. I keep on doing it. You think I would delete that overlay? I did not. Shoot me an email at theventureforward@gmail.com. Theventureforward@gmail. You know what? I think if I, I'll tell you what. Just do this. Go back over here and do that. Hang on a sec. See, the thing is, I usually have a button that brings up the graphic with. There we go. I think this is it. There it is. But now, of course, the graphic. There we see, live editing. It's like workshopping. We're workshopping this right in front of your very eyes. Theventureforward@gmail.com. Your homework assignment for the weekend is come up with questions you want me to tackle on Tuesday, because we'll be having another Ask Me Anything Tuesday at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. It should be a good time, especially given everything that's happened in the last 6-7 months, but also the weight loss, 282 pounds down, the sobriety, also the not gambling, all of it. Everything's fair game. So think about what you want to ask. Send me an email or pop a message on Facebook or YouTube. I'd love to address all of that and also take your questions live on the episode Tuesday at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, here on the Venture Forward. But until then, I'm going to tell you the same thing I say at the end of every Venture Forward in VF Talks. Stay safe, stay sane, stay strong, stay sober. You're worth it. Have a great weekend. I will see you Tuesday night at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Fly be free.
Heading to Vegas in my blue striped car. She's riding shotgun and she looks like a star. Yeah, she's got the style that makes you think she's made out of gold. She says she likes it better when we go off-road. Yeah. I'm gonna make it worth your while. When she's with me, we're like superstars. Windows roll down, radio on. I think we could go far. We don't need money. We can skip that part. All I want is her to be with me. She's got a ticket to my heart. The sky is blue, I got the sun in my eyes. It can't get better than when she makes that smile. Yeah, she's got that style that makes you think she's made out of gold. She's turning up the volume on the radio. Yeah. I'm gonna make it worth your while. I'm gonna make it worth your time. I'm gonna make it worth your while. When she's with me, we're like superstars. Windows roll down, radio on. I think we could go far. We don't need money. We can skip that part. All I want is her to be with me. She's got a ticket to my heart.